How to set up Sabrous Connect for 2020 kitchen integration. This training video will take you through all the steps for Sabrous Connect to integrate 2020 kitchen designs smoothly to your ERP or point of sale system. Please note that only an administrator can change settings. When you first log in to your Sabrous Connect account, the settings are set to the default values. Some settings must be changed depending on your ERP or point of sale system. You can run a test order before customizing the other settings that affect the data. In Sabrous Connect, click on Settings from the top menu bar. Then click on 2020 Kitchens on the left side. Export file name source. The file name can consist of up to 4 variables. The default is shown here with username, export default name, the 2020 design name, and date plus time. You can delete any of the variables or change their order. Please refer to the requirements for your ERP or POS system in the support pages. Export default name. This can be anything you want. We are using 2020. Export file name extension setting. This is used for Catalyst Falcon system, where the import list can be filtered using a different extension for each vendor module. Use customer number. This is needed by BizTrack. You must check it and enter a valid customer number. You will then change the customer number in BizTrack or in Sabrous Connect at the time of the process. Combine like items. This will combine all of the identical items as long as they have no attachments, item notes, or dimensional changes. For example, if in 2020 you have 3 W3030 cabinets, we will combine them into one line item in your data going into the ERP system, quantity 3. If a cabinet has an item node on it, the dimensions have been changed, or it has an attachment on it, we will not combine them. Here's a tip. Do not use the 2020 application integration group identical items. This can cause incorrect processing of the data. Use product code as SKU. This will put the 2020 user code, for example W3030, into the SKU field instead of a default one. The usefulness of this depends upon the ERP system and what it does with the imported SKU. In most ERP systems, it is going to be used to generate a unique special order SKU. Most users would put in a special order SKU for each catalog, such as Marilat. Use phrase mapping. Not used that often in 2020, this is basically a find and replace tool that will help you to clean up the data. Once you do this mapping, all orders will be processed using the mapping data you have entered. Phrase mapping will be covered in detail in another video. Use pricing cost factor. This is almost always used for 2020 kitchens. It will take the list price and multiply it by the cost factor. Otherwise, you will get list price sent to your ERP for cost. Check the box and enter the cost factor on the catalog page settings. The user will get a chance to change this factor on each order when they process it. Please note that if you are using rate records in 2020, where you're setting the cost in 2020 for a catalog, then uncheck this box. Rule for selling price. There are 3 options. Do not apply a factor. Use this if you want list price sent to the ERP system. You will then use the ERP system's tools to set the selling price by gross margin, markup on cost, or by a bottom line total price. Also use this if you use the 2020 rate records. The 2020 rate setup can allow a user to select a catalog charge that will result in 2020 calculating both the selling price and the cost price. The downside with rate records is the maintenance. They need to be set up in all the new catalogs. Applying the selling factor. If you don't use 2020 to set the selling price, you can enter a default selling factor or multiplier in Sabrous Connect by selecting this option. Use factored pricing from data. Use this option if you are applying a selling discount in the 2020 catalog charges. Rules for applying price. This applies to attachments. Item pricing. All attachments are shown as individual items with their quantity and price. Parent pricing. All the attachment pricing is rolled up to the parent item. The attachment description is left as the text line or comment. Please see the attachment page for the option to roll up the description to the parent item. Here's a tip. Some of the attachments are not installed and therefore should be removed and made standalone accessories. Sabres can do this automatically if the vendor catalog is coded properly, but at the present time only Masco has the required code in their manufacturer code. See the catalog page for further details. Apply upcharges. This option is one of the key features of Sabres Connect. All global options such as drawer fronts, glazing, drawer boxes, soft close doors, construction, and other upcharges are applied to the item they belong to. This means the price in the ERP system will reflect the true cost and selling price of the item. If you want the ERP system to show the pricing as it appears in 2020, then uncheck this box. Please make sure you click on Save. Next, we'll cover catalogs. Click on the Catalog button on the left side. There should be a default catalog already listed in your account. If the Catalogs page does not have the default catalog listed, then you must create one or ask Sabres support to add it. Sabres Connect will not work properly without the default catalog. The function of the default catalog is to catch all of the MAP 2020 catalogs. Sabres Connect has its own catalog list. The catalogs in Sabres Connect can be considered as product lines. Options for these catalogs can be set once. When a new 2020 catalog is released by the vendor, it is mapped to the same Sabres Connect catalog. We will cover how to import catalogs later on. First, you must set up all the current Sabres Connect catalogs and map the 2020 catalogs to them. Click on Create New. Then, enter the catalog name. In this example, Marilat. Enter the cost factor, such as 0.45. Enter a selling factor if you want Sabres Connect to calculate the selling price for the list price. This is only useful if on the kitchen settings page, Apply a selling factor is selected for the rule for selling price. This is usually set to 1.0000. A default SKU must be entered even if your ERP system does not use it. In this example, SO for special order, Marilat. Attachment removal code is used to remove certain attachments. As of right now, only Masco has implemented the required 2020 catalog coding. They have a curly bracket A curly bracket code in the 2020 manufacturer code to indicate that the attachment is not installed and is shipped separately. This code, if entered in this option box for any Masco catalog, will allow Sabres Connect to not roll up to the parent attachments that are not installed. They are shipped separately, so when your items come through to the ERP system, the listing will match what is on the truck. Most importantly, when you ship out to your job site, all the items will be on that list. Catalog sequence allows the user to control the order in which the different catalogs appear in the data that Sabres sends to the ERP system. Just enter 1, 2, 3, etc. Item removal allows for the removal of items that are not wanted in the ERP system. An example would be None, which many catalogs have for no pulls. If you have more than one, use a comma to separate them. Apply door or drawer pull. Check this box if the vendor catalog is using the 2020 pull options for something like soft close. An example is Country Wood Products that uses door pulls for 3/4 plywood shelf upgrades. Check the Applied Door Pull box, and Sabres Connect will treat the upcharge as a global option and roll up the price of the cabinets. Product SKU source is used when the products are being stocked and a stock SKU is to be sent to the ERP system. This is for people who have a stocking program. We know one catalog that is stocked a lot, and the catalog is programmed to generate a SKU in 2020 in a hidden field in most cases, and in some cases using the manufacturer's code. If so, then you would type in the manufacturer's code here, or in the case of a lot of catalogs, they are using a field called OLink, and Sabres Connect will extract the program SKU that comes out of 2020 and will add it to the product SKU field in the output data going to the ERP system. So if you have a matching SKU in your ERP system, it's going to treat it as an inventory item and update your inventory. To make this work, the catalog must be programmed to generate the SKU. Contact Sabres for information on how to do this. You must create a Sabres catalog name for every vendor product line you have that you use in your 2020. Do not forget to click on Create. Import Catalog. This is where you will map the 2020 catalog name, which is a maximum 8-character name. To do so, click on Create New. Enter the 2020 catalog name. For example, MC17R2. Select the related catalog from the drop-down. Then, click on Create. If you need to edit the mapping, such as when you receive new versions from the vendor, just click on Edit. For example, if a new catalog is now current, then edit the MC17R2 to the new 2020 catalog name. You can also delete an existing mapping record. 2020 Description Settings. This option page controls the item descriptions. There are also settings for the different comment or text lines that are sent to the ERP system at the top of each group of items. Each catalog in the 2020 design forms a group in the data. These settings apply to all catalogs. The description can be built from the 2020 user code, manufacturer code, the 2020 description, or any combination. Since Sabres Connect is mainly processing orders, we recommend that the manufacturer code be used and not the user code. The user code in most 2020 catalogs is programmed to change if the cabinet is altered by width, height, or depth. The original code should be what the ERP system receives. Sabres Connect has an option that will insert a comment or text line with the exact dimensions if any one is changed. The 2020 product description may not be desired if you use the attachment option to roll up the attachment code and description to the parent cabinet. The result can be wordy. Item notes are the notes that can be added to any item in 2020. Check this box if you want them to appear in the ERP system. The 2020 catalog name can be displayed in a comment line. Check the box if this is desired. The price level description can also be displayed by checking the appropriate box. The last option is needed, otherwise the data will not indicate what the door style, species, finish, or other global options are. This option creates a comment or text line for each of the options in the 2020 Styles and Pricing Catalog Styles tab. Click on Save. 2020 Attachment Settings. This option page controls the attachments or item options. These settings apply to all catalogs. Roll attachments into their parent will delete all attachment records and roll the price and description to the parent item. If item pricing was selected under kitchen settings, this setting will overrule it and apply parent pricing. This option is recommended to result in the least lines in the ERP order. Add a prefix will add 2 dots or periods in front of the attachment description. In effect, it indents the attachment items or comment description. Not used for the Roll Attachments option. Add additional comments for modified items will create a comment line under the cabinet or panel if any dimension was changed. Add finished side comments for catalogs with automatic finished sides will create a comment line indicating left, right, or both. This applies only to catalogs that use the 2020 automatic finished side option, which is not many because pricing is not very accurate. Click on Save. We hope you found this training video to be helpful. If you have any questions, please email support@saberus.com.